Peace, family. What it do? This is Brother Oh God. I'm doing a live stream from In the Black Hip Hop News. I want to speak today. I know a lot of you hip hop heads have heard about "Buy Back the Block," um, which is a song by Rick Ross, Two Chains, and Gucci Mane. And in the beginning of the video, I can't play it here because it'll be blocked, due to copyright claims. But in this video, Rick Ross and Gucci Mane start at a car wash, and they're talking about investing. Just two regular brothers, talking about investing, in you know uh some businesses in the community. You know what I'm saying? And this sheds new light because in real life you have a lot of rappers that are doing just that. They're taking in money outside, you know, of the music industry, and not just invested in liquors and whatnot, but invested in franchises and whatnot. And this is a positive thing for the black community because we need to see more entrepreneur spirit, what I mean, in the community. So I thought I would get up this morning and speak on this and really just highlight Rick Ross today and go over some of his business ventures. You know what I'm saying? In you know the hood, buying back these different businesses, and employing you know black people, because when we look in Chinatown. You know what I mean? All over in Philly is where I'm closest to. You all you see is a whole bunch of Chinese people working there, Chinese lawyers, doctors, what I'm saying, dentists, everything, all Chinese. You rarely find, if ever, um people of other ethnicities or people of other excuse me, you know, nationalities that work there in these different places. You know what I mean? But give me 1 second, family. You know what I'm saying? So I can plug this laptop in. Excuse me. We can get to this. All right. There we go. You rarely find people of other nationalities working, you know what I'm saying, and that's because they keep it protected. They build up an economy, you know what I'm saying, and they pretty much keep it protected so that their own people can work there. Now, if you look historically, in the if you go back and look, Black Wall Street and other civilizations, you know, whenever black people tried to, all you gotta do is do your research. Tried to peace to Frida Jackson. Anytime anyone tried to build up, a successful economy, what I mean, inside the confines of America. If we look at Black Wall Street, if you look at the movie Rosewood, I know a lot of y'all seen that. It's probably something y'all know even more. Rosewood, was more of indicative. Black people who did for self. They had their own, and it was kind of torn down over an allegation. This happened all over, America. Another good book, right here, is called Sundown Towns, where they speak on, black people not even being allowed, in towns. You know what I mean? Without pretty much being killed. So it's very important that we begin to build our own. Cause let's face it, if you look at places like Chicago, you know what I mean. You got somewhere 90% of the youth are unemployed. So we talk about Chirac and we ask the question, why are we killing each other in these major cities? We ask these questions, but the reality is we know why. It's because there's a lack of economic opportunity, you know what I mean, for young black children, black and Latino, children in these inner cities. You know what I mean? If we gave all those teenagers and young adults, if they had $50,000 or $60,000 a year job with benefits, they won't be on the street killing each other. But the thing is, every opportunity has been stripped away from them. They're in the schools, and this is not going to be popular. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a lot of people in here. This is real stuff. You know what I mean? Peace to the brother Easy, who just came into the chat. You know what I'm saying? this ain't gonna, you gonna get thousands of people in here on this. This is the real talk that people don't really like to get into. But if these brothers were given a opportunity, now when you say, oh, you got people say, well, I came from Poland or I came from Russia and my parents were broken. Okay, there's always exceptions to the rule, but you never throw the rule away for the exception. But what I'm talking about is a systematic approach through the miseducation of our youth. You know what I mean? To making sure that they don't have an equal. Put it like this, right? If I was a coach of an opposing team, right? Would it be my job to make sure that your children outdo my children, or what I want my children to outdo your children? What I want my children to grow up, you know what I'm saying, and dominate over your children, you know what I mean? And dominate and have, more power and resources. So I'm not going to teach the opposing team to beat my team. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. So um that's just the way it is at the end of the day. I'm not going to teach um you know your children to dominate my children. So what we see is a 90%, of these public schools are white female teachers who have a disconnect with young black male aggression, who have a disconnect. These are the two people that the society has tried to keep apart from each other. You know what I'm saying? Of the black male and the white female. Now you put them in this classroom setting, they don't have nothing in common. If you really wanted to fix, what I'm saying, the inner city and young black males, you know what I mean, you would put black male teachers in there. We even see some of these, even with the police, that's a whole nother thing. But if you wanted to fix, you would put black male teachers who could actually relate and that could get through. We got this whole thing, and a good book here I could recommend to the people is Dr. Umar Johnson, The Psychoacademic Holocaust, the special education and ADH war against black boys. Now they got this ADHD war where they now giving the children drugs, almost some of them equivalent to street drugs. They're giving them these drugs because they want them to sit still long enough. We know, and don't ever, like, if you're in the schools, don't ever let the schools tell you that your kid is hyper. I mean, come on, you got 3, 4, 5, all of them hyper. I don't give a freak what race. They hyper. They getting into stuff. They climbing up walls. That's just the way. When you was younger, you had mad energy. You couldn't sit still. But they turn it around and say, "Oh, he has ADHD." And if you really go in and look into the diagnosis, everybody got this shit. Everybody got it. But they give them drugs to dope them up. And what it really does, it messes with their reproductive system. You know what I mean? So again, your open enemy is not going to teach you or teach you to beat them out. So that's things. And then you talk about, to get to the subject, when you talk about people like Rick Ross, who are now beginning to buy wing stops and checkers and things like that. This will eventually become a problem. You look at Jay-Z going into the music industry, you know what I mean, trying to start Rock Nation Sports and Title. This becomes a problem because whenever in this country, I can show you, look up Black Wall Street, look up Rosewood, look up Wilmington, North Carolina, look up all these places. Whenever we tried to gain power as a people, this government systematically destroyed it. Systematically. And they not even systematically sometimes. Sometimes they actually came in straight bombs and blew it up. Just look it up. I make no lies about it. You can get in the comment section. You know what I mean? You're going to have white people that come here and say, oh, you're making excuses. No, it's a difference between an excuse and an actual reason that something happened. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm doing this live stream this morning is to speak on and peace out to the people in the chat. You know what I mean? Is to speak on I got my eye on Rick Ross, and when I heard the song, the whole "buy back the block," I'ma buy back the block, dun 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 dun. So it's like, this is what we need. We need, again, instead of our children, wanting to go to the pipe dream of a college education, getting into deep debt before they get out there, and by the time they get out, they actually are forced into the work world. We have to pay off these $50,000 to $100,000 debts. You know what I mean? How about a trade? How about more trade school? He could become a carpenter. He could become an electrician. He could become a body worker. He could become a you know, whatever, a trade that if that's in demand, a barber. These people are always going to make money because somebody's needs a haircut, somebody, HVAC system is down, somebody needs something built, somebody has electrical work that has to be done, auto repair. But no, we fall for this thing about college. Now, I'm not going to say F college because some people it could be beneficial. But if you do go to college, get a degree that you know is going to be beneficial. Don't get nothing in like marine biology or some crazy shit and, something that you're not going to use. You can't find a job, and get something in something practical. You know what I'm saying? When I was in college, my professor told me, and I don't know if this is true, this is a while ago, I'm 31 now, that you should get the best degree to get is in communication. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to always have to and communicate effectively. And when you go to these jobs, you're going to be retrained anyway how to do the job. That's what he told me. I don't know how true it is, but peace, brother E. Peace, peace. Peace, Sauber one and Michelle Murphy. And we up here doing some real talk. I found out that my stream was open. I thought it was closed. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be rocking out over here, till we get our other channel open back up in January 9th. But definitely, I did something yesterday on my other channel, but it was blocked. So I actually played the video. So I was like, rather than edit it and all that, I just come on here, knock it out early in the morning since I got nothing but free time nowadays. You know what I mean? Thanks to the people, with their support. But Rick Ross, we starting to see that these rappers are taking a active stance. Now with Trump coming in now, it's a whole different dynamic now. When Donald Trump coming in to this whole thing, it's a whole, because now that's what's up. Sticks 13. That's what's up. Appreciate you getting up early and watching this. It's no more the illusion with the Obama in there. And I'll save my, I'm not going to put my opinions out there on Obama because it goes deep. I don't know how much, how conscious people are over here. I know it's a hip hop channel, but we got an openly racist president by the name of Donald Trump, who openly came out and expressed his discontent for Latinos and blacks and Muslims and whatnot. So this is going to be an eye opener now for us that we need to really start to begin to do for self. You know what I mean? So what I want to do now, because I'm not going to be before you very long, because I know brothers and sisters got to go to work this morning, most likely. I'm going to show you some Rick Ross's business ventures. And we're going to detail a lot of these rappers. We're going to talk about a lot of these rappers. I got a lot of stuff I'm going to do on ODB by request, Pimp C by request, something more on Tupac by request, Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Peace to the Latinos. Peace, Alex Reyes. I see you, bro. We got a lot of stuff that we're gonna be working on. Just trying to uncover, the truths about what's really going on. You know what I mean? So let me go to my screen share real quick with Rick Ross and make sure this is up so I can show y'all the right thing. All right. Go back over here. And make sure y'all subscribe now and share this video. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all helping us grow very, very fast. I definitely appreciate it. Just keep on sharing them and all the Instagram, Facebooks, and all the, social media outlets. It definitely helps us. And I'm gonna start coming on here and getting questions from the people. A lot of people have a lot of stuff to say in the comment section. And I would love to interact with the people. That's the type of dude I am. I don't run from nobody. You know what I mean? So hopefully, let's see. Y'all can see this. Let me know if y'all can see this. Yeah, that's another Bro Sanchez. Check out some of Bro Sanchez videos and Bro Diggs. Oh, definitely. I'm gonna check them out, bro. Definitely will. Maybe it can link them up and get them on here to do a live stream. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. Cool. All right. So no copyright infringement vibe intended. But they don't call him the boss for nothing. Rick Ross has made stellar moves since he docked into the musical realm of 2006. Port of Miami, the Floridian has inked deals with global brands and created his own empire that'll make him rich forever. Um, from leading his own U.S. based music label to potentially dabbling in the oil enterprise in Africa, there's no telling where Rick Ross's next business conquest will take him. Check out the list of some of the CEO's top operational um ventures. So we see the brother Ricky Rose. You know what I mean? They call him Renzel, all these different names and all that. You know what I mean? Some people call him a cop. You know, some people say he stole, but that's the fact he did, run off with it. And a lot of people ran off with a lot of people's identity. 50, even they say Meek Mill, it was a real Meek Mill out there. That's a whole nother thing that we have to get into at a different point in time. But let's go through this real quick. Yo, gotta bounce when we'll come back. All right, no doubt. Peace out, Sean. It'll be up. It'll be up later. I'm gonna leave it up. You know what I'm saying? You can check it out, but I appreciate you. All right, now we all know about Wingstops. She think of Philippe, I'm thinking Wingstop. We all heard about that in his songs and all that. So let me go down a little bit. So it's apparent. It's apparent. Okay, the real 50 is dead. Peace out, E. Um, he owns 25 Wingstop. Now I never had this. These are not in my area, but I love wings. You know what I mean? And I'm impressed that he would buy some fast food chains. Now we got a lot of people that's gonna say a lot of things. Well, like my brother Solomon said yesterday, if you put a vegan restaurant up in the hood or a health food, it's gonna probably most likely it's gonna go out of business at this point in time, at this juncture, because our mindset, like somebody wrote in the comments, we gotta reprogram ourselves. It ain't gonna happen overnight. So we have to work with what we got. So yeah, Wingstop is a great, thing. But if he's talking about buy back the block, it takes on, let's just be real, blacks and Latinos is in the hood like that. You got other races mixed, but his majority is black and Latino. So that would mean that he would have to will be, when he's talking buy back the block, he will be speaking indirectly. He can't come out and say it to uplifting black and Latinos in the hood. White people are already empowered. Chinese are already empowered. You know what I mean? In certain places, other Arabs are already empowered. They got the gas stations, they got the Dunkin' Donuts, Subways, and all that. They already empowered. Black and Latinos are not empowered. In some instances we are, in some instances we're not. But it's only one type of power though. Either you're empowered or you're not. That's a fact. Okay, I hear you, Twin C. We got a video up on that. So he owns 20. We see right here, he owns 25 franchises. You know what I mean? And that's a great thing for the brother. So he's trying to it looks like he's trying to acquire power, like he says in the song, one block at a time. You know what I mean? Another one will be, this is a partnership with Swiss Beats and Reebok. You know what I mean? It hasn't hit the store yet, but it's a rumors that it should hit the store. And for what this article says, the article's a little older. You know what I'm saying? But he's working with different Reebok to put out a shoe. You know what I'm saying? So we all know about Maybach Music Group, and his successes came from himself, but also from Meek Mill. Meek Mill has been the number one MMG artist, I would say, that has came out. Let me go back down. That's came out from under that brand. You know what I mean? And kind of pushed, that MMG Dream Chasers movement forward and taking the spotlight, getting Nicki Minaj being in he was just in the headlines yesterday with them lying about him breaking up with Nicki. You know what I mean? Your boy Carcino over there, always ride Meek, but it is what it is, Everybody gotta do what they gotta do for views. But on some real shit, Carcino, I like a lot of Carcino's content. He does some very good content. Some of us some hating that shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Wale sold more records than me. That's amazing to hear that. I don't even believe that. I have to look that up though, but I'm gonna check that out after that. Peace to Tracy Brown. But MMG, you know what I'm saying? And Wale is a different type of artist, more poetic, you know what I mean? Lyrical. And I like Wale's style and all that, you know what I mean? Wale's a good artist too. I mean not Wale, Starlay is all right too, and whatnot. You know what I mean? But let's go. Diddy and Rose, the big homie cohorts both share a similar business mindset, specifically known as get money. It was only right that the multi-millionaires put their boss mentality together when Puff Daddy served as co-executive producer of Ricky Six's solo album, Mastermind. You know what I'm saying? Let me read this comment, Leonard Scott. They have him up here in NYC. Nothing much owned by our people. Why? Because banks aren't lending. So has Pele, who's behind him. And you know what? That's a good. I'm glad that the brother put that in there. I'm glad that the brother put that in there. That's another thing. I think you got somewhere, and if I'm wrong, I know I'm close, but I could be off a little bit. So don't, prosecute me. You know what I'm saying? We are, and I heard this statistic by another good brother in the community, that the banks, we make $600 million in deposits, right? But we're only loaning out $2 million to black-owned businesses, right? Now, what's wrong with that? It's a lot of things wrong with that, because on the surface, like I'm gonna crush this dude, Andy Schultz. I wish he would get in the ring with me, Andrew Schultz, that would be smacking Charlemagne up. He said, "Well, there's opportunities out there, they could do this, and no. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. But there's a lot of red tape, man. There's a lot of racist policies that is hard for us to get around. You know what I mean? And they're just not loaning. We can have an idea. We can have, an idea for a Walmart and things like that, but they're not loaning the money to us. They're looking at us and they're judging us. They are prejudging us. They are prejudiced. They are judging us off of, and if you don't believe me, right, they had policies back in the day, right? There was policies back in the day, and where our businesses would get burnt to the ground, and they would deny us the insurance claims. Shit, you know what I mean? Now it's changed up a little bit today. They got stuff like redlining, and certain areas they go by a zip code. They're just not going to land because they know it's populated with more blacks and Hispanics. This is just a fact. You know what I mean? So they got other ways of doing it. You know what I mean? From keeping us out. And then another thing is, once we do get these businesses, since we're not united as a people, you know what I mean? Our businesses go out of business because our people don't support our own businesses. I got a Chinese supermarket where I live at. You know what I'm saying? I got they support that. It could be a shop right up the street or a Kroger, whatever was in your area, Piggy Wiggly's. You know what I mean? It could be, but the Chinese is going to support that. They're not going nowhere else. Hell, even in this area, it's a Spanish grocery joint. The bodegas and shit, they going to support each other. Black people don't support each other, man. It's this thing about the white man's ice being colder and whatnot. So yeah, we're not getting the money. You know what I mean? We're not getting, the banks are not lending. That's why we need to get our own banks. Buy back the block. Let's go. All right. 4 closed plants in Georgia. Wow. I didn't even know that. See, that's deep right there, because I'm pretty sure that's a black area. You know what I mean? And those are pretty good jobs. Ford and GM. Health benefits, good hourly, good livable jobs. You know what I'm saying? So, him and Diddy, boom, boom, boom. I'm not so fond of Diddy at this point in time. You know what I mean? But Maybach Films, there hasn't been nothing yet, but there's a work, clothing, movie, and films. We come to conquer it all. You know what I'm saying? Maybach Films is another business venture that Rick Ross looks to get into. Peace, Tracy Band. I appreciate it. Rolling Stone advice column. That pretty much said is what it is right there. Ain't nothing much to say about that. But we see this liquor, you know what I'm saying? Or rosé, which is, I guess, it's a wine or something, champagne. Blair. Now, help me, family in the chat room. I don't know if he owns this company. Maybe he has I know he got some type of endorsement because I see all these brothers, and the culture vultures too, Vlad and French Montana. I see them, down in this brand Bel Air Rose. So that's another thing he has his hands in. You know what I'm saying? Kind of breaking the mold. And I'm gonna talk about I'm gonna do something on him, little Flip. Brother, shout out to D-Red if you're listening. You know what I'm saying? Flip owns a chain of Quiznos, which is the rival company to Subway in Houston. So a lot of these rappers, these independent rappers, is getting money. You know what I'm saying? Other ways. Ross is one of the most business-oriented rappers of all time. Real talk. 2 years, Walmart. Yeah. Yo, E guys, Walmarts everywhere. They put a Walmart like it's one about 7 miles away. Now it's another one 2 miles away. And it's like Walmart is good for the consumer. Don't get me wrong. I go in there and get everything you need from Walmart. Cheap. You know what I'm saying? You go out there, everything you need, damn near. But they paying slave wages. And if you're not in a managerial position, you are pretty much no benefits. You're pretty much a slave and shit. I mean, a wage slave at the end of the day. We could chop it, we could cut it. What you gonna do with $7-8 an hour? Living in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and these places. What you gonna do with one bedroom's $850 a month? And car insurance is $200-300 a month. You gotta buy groceries. What's a $7-8 job gonna do? Not even getting full time. Even if you got full time, what's that gonna do? Exactly. Case closed. So what? I could miss fuck Walmart. Yeah, it's cool. We all go there and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna have to come a time we say, and another thing they put out of business a lot of mom and pop stores. You know what I'm saying? So it may look good, you know what I mean? But somebody has to work at these places. And a lot of times the people working at these places are who? The felons, the people that go into the penal system, the people that didn't have a fair shot, the people who got one felony, made one mistake, and they get penalized for the rest of their life. Talk about a just system. A brother make one mistake, he's penalized for the rest of his life. He's subjected to working at a McDonald's. He's subjected to working at a Walmart. And then at the end of the day, it's a catch-22 because most of the time, you work on those kind of jobs and shit get rough. And it's always going to get rough because it's not enough to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? You're going to commit and you're going to offend again. It's just a fact. And let me paint a picture for you. Okay, you got 2 kids. Your girl's out, she's pregnant. You're working at Walmart. You got a felony. You made one mistake in life. You made a mistake. You can only make one. So it's on your record. So you can't get a trucking job. You can't get a school, but you can't get a job that's going to make a livable wage because you got that blemish on your record. So something comes up, you got to make the money. Your boy's Dylan, or whatever. You want to go take a TV, whatever. Now you right back in the penal system and your family suffers again. So the system is backwards, man. See, this is how it should be, right? If you did commit, instead of the prisons, the prison, should be a rehabilitation. Well, I know trucking. I got you. I mean, don't get me on everything I say. You know what I mean? I'm sure they can, but I'm in general, ATL Capricorn. I'm talking about in general. You know what I'm saying? Work there. College. I'm gonna get to the college grads in a minute too, right? You know what I'm saying? But in general, you know what I'm saying? A brother can't find he can't find a livable wage and shit. So they go to the underworld and that ends up, but prisons should be, you know what I'm saying, more rehabilitative where you go in and learn something and you have an opportunity. And some charges you do, you know what I'm saying? But the more violent and drug charges you can never get off your record. You know what I mean? You should be able to have a second lease at life and learn. And it should be for you to go in and be rehabilitated so that you could come out and correct yourself. Why is it that the majority of the prisons that it's a high turnaround rate? Like most people are going to come back because it's a backward system. And that is what you call racism, white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? I work at Walmart and actually make it. Nothing wrong with Walmart. How much money you make an hour at Walmart? Cause I know people who work there and make $8-9 an hour. You know what I mean? And depending on what part of the country, like I know, like down in North Carolina, and people that live down there, those jobs are good jobs for the area because rent is like $300 a month. You could get a 1 bedroom between 200 and 300 a month. But where I live at, New York, New Jersey, Philly, 1 bedroom is 850. 850. And I'm sure it's higher in New York. It's like 1,000. Now, if you do the math on it, you're making like $200, $300 a week. That's just your rent. Your paycheck is just your rent. What about the other shit? What about the food? What about if you want to drive a car? What about leisure expenses? What about it? 1350. How long have you been there? Okay. Nine. So if somebody's saying 1350, somebody's saying 9 at Walmart. See what I'm saying? But y'all get my point though. It's my first time. Oh, no doubt. Appreciate you, Alex. You know what I'm saying? If you make it 1350, most likely you may have been there for 10 years. Arizona rent is way cheaper than New York. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? But let me move forward. You know what I'm saying? So another thing, tequila, 1800 tequila, Rick Ross is getting into. I'm not too impressed with the liquor companies. I just gotta be real with you. And this is the big one, possible oil business in Nigeria. After a trip to Nigeria in 2013, Ross read up on another multi-billion-dollar business opportunity, mentioning that he would like to get involved in an oil conglomerate in an African country. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing. If he gets involved in oil, but that's pretty much it with Rick Ross. So you see, so he says, I'm gonna read what this brother's saying. Right? I think it's a brother. All right, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna argue back and forth with you. If you really want to get into it with the whole Walmart thing, I mean, how many people actually working at Walmart have their own house? You know what I mean? They own land, making $13.50 an hour. Like, it's just, yes, if you really would do the math on it, it would look very silly. You know what I'm saying? It'll be silly. Now, it's another brand, right? It's another brand, company. I forget the name of it, but it's another chain store like Walmart. Now, they're paying their employees better than Walmart on average, plus giving them benefits. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my sister used to work at Walmart. She was still living at home with my parents. People I know that work at Walmart, you know what I mean? I seen them in high school. I'm not saying, I'm not looking down upon them because they work there, but it's just like it's a slave wage job at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Just like all these other places, like McDonald's, it's a slave wage job. Now, certain parts of the country, it may be, you work at Sam's Club. Okay. Sam's Club. Now, Sam's Club's a little different. I got a Sam's Club not too far. Sam Club pays a little more. I think they got benefits. They treat their employees a little better. It's a wholesale club. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, top shelf Walmart, real shit. But my point in saying all this is that, let me get back on here so y'all can see me. My bad. Stop. My point in saying is that I know a lot of people that have felonies and whatnot, and it's very difficult. Shit, I got a felony. 3. Very difficult for me to. Every time I look at a job, right, when I was looking for a job, have you ever convicted of a crime? I ain't want to go through the fucking process and shit. You see how I look? What company you think gonna hire a dude like this? Huh? Unless it's some underground shit while I'm cleaning up something, cleaning toilets and shit like that. Come on, man. Let's just be real about this, yo. Or you have to shave your beard. You can't have dreadlocks. You can't wear your. Come on, man. Let's just be real about this shit. I just like being real about shit. You got to go in there and explain some shit I did years ago. I got to go explain to this white man and beg this. Nah, fuck it. I'm making my own fucking way out here. And that's what brothers is doing. You know what I'm saying? Brothers is, opting out. Brothers is getting the pack. Brothers is becoming their own businessman. It may not be good. We may not agree with it, but that's just what they're doing. They're not going to stop until there's some economic opportunity out there. But the social order of America, and check this brother out, he speaks a lot on it. That's who I learned from, Dr. Umar Johnson. has shut out the black man. The only job that we can get now is in the prisons, making 2 cents an hour or 30 cents an hour. It's funny how we cannot find a job out here. Dressing up, shaved, clean. We can't find even college graduates. I'm gonna get to that. But in the prison, industrial complex, in the prisons, they got jobs by hundreds of thousands for black people, black and Latinos. You got jobs all day. But why? Because you got these $1 million contracts that are paying out slave wages. The new Jim Crow. So what's the difference between slavery and now? What's really the difference? Oh, you can go to your house. You could drink. We could do that. I mean, come on, we could do that shit back in slavery. We had a little place to stay and shit. You know what I mean? You can move as you freely move. We like that. All we saying is we want an equal playing field. That's all we saying that we want. We want our own destiny in our own hand. That's all we saying that we want. We want to control our own destiny. So when we build up, don't try to come and bomb our shit. Don't try to take our shit down. Don't try to set up racist, prejudice laws against us. Let us do us. Why is it that every time we try to build up, he has to come in and try to destroy our shit? Does it go back to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the fear of white genetic annihilation? Could it be real? Every time we had tried to build up, he came in and systematically destroyed us, man. Why is that? I'll let y'all do the research and the studying on that. You know what I'm saying? So once again, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That these rappers are beginning to take. Now, I'm not saying it's the end all be all by no stretch to the imagination. We shouldn't get up and be praising and rejoicing and all that. And it's over. No, it's a lot of work that got to be done. But it's a start. So let me look into these comments because I'm going to get out of here. U.S. government is giving. And that's another thing. Right. We talk about the immigrants coming. Now, I don't have a problem with Mexicans. They was here before the damn white man. You know what I mean? Immigrants and these different people coming in. You know what I mean? But you see the difference. See, they are. It's where I live at. A couple towns over. It's a lot of Hispanics and whatever you want to call it, Latinos, the label that they gave them, and they're beginning to build an economy, infrastructure all up and down. They got barbershops they put a supermarket. It started with a small store, went to a supermarket. They got restaurants, you know what I mean? Tax places. So they kind of moving on up. They're not kind of where the Chinese are, where they got doctors and lawyers. But one thing I do notice is that when Latinos or Chinese or Indians are looking for doctors and dentists, they look for those last names, those Patels, the Rodriguezes, the Wang Chong Mings, whatever. They're looking for those people to do business with. We got to be the same way. Now, it was a little harder to look by name, but, there's other ways you can find out. We had to say, I want to go to a black this. I want to go to a black that. I want to go to, you know what I mean? When I went to Dr. Umar's lecture the other day, I forget what he said, but a very small amount of our actual disposable income is spent with black people. And another thing is with that is there's not a lot of black businesses, but we got to begin to do better, family. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? We got, we call ourselves gods and we got statues. We talk about Egypt and even West Africa. Everybody always romanticizes about Egypt, but West Africa has some great civilizations. You know what I'm saying? We are powerful people. We just have to take our destiny into our own hands. So, was crowned automaker of the century. Why is the white man this white man? It's my brother all white. Why is it white man this white man? That's my brother. Now, what are you saying by that? The white man is your brother? Because I've never seen a white man as my brother. Ever. I just haven't. And I got to go off of history of our people in my history. The only white man I seen was him still kill and destroy our people, man. And we can go into We could go into that all day long. We could see you sitting here to the end of the night. I'll fall asleep with this microphone talking about that. You know what I mean? So like Tracy Brown said, are you cooning or are you trolling? Are you okay? Hold on. Read the comment. Why is it the white man, this white man, that my brothers are the white man, the are white, they live in the projects? I don't understand that statement. Yeah, you got white people living in projects. I just speak on it from this aspect. Yeah, you got white people in trailer park trash. I mean, excuse me, in trailer parks. We understand that. You know what I'm saying? This system, uh, this system, there are bottom feeders to the system, but there should be no excuse for them, man. Ain't no excuse. I mean, your ancestors raped. You got what? Almost, I can't remember the number. What's the number of trillions of dollars? 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. Gotta find that little part there. Well, first and foremost, right? The average white family has $113,000 in wealth. The average black family is $5,600 in wealth. You know what I mean? Y'all have raped us and got hundreds of years of free labor, over trillions of dollars in wealth from the labor of us. People will look like me. You know what I mean? What's the excuse? Y'all own however percentage of the wealth in the country. You know, I know the Chinese is getting it in. So what's the excuse, yo? What excuse do you have? You got all the welfare programs. I mean, come on. What excuse do you have? Now, there's always exceptions to the rule, but I never, ever, ever, ever in my life threw the rule away for the exception. You know what I'm saying? So now I had white people that I was cool with to a certain extent, like I had to work around them, but we never talked about social, political things. You know what I mean? Our worldviews are still different. You know what I mean? Their reality is still different from mine at the end of the day. If they get pulled over and I get pulled over, who's more likely to get shot and killed, man? Let's just keep it real. If they got more opportunities than us, man, that's just what it is. I'm not mad at them for doing that. I'm just calling it like I see it. They're gonna do their thing, and we got to do our thing. They're gonna continue to have their system set up the way they want to do it, but we got to do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Period. So that's all I got for this morning. We're gonna be doing a lot more because I didn't even know my channel, my live stream was open over here. I really didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But this one was, buy back the block, man. Let's spread the mentality, you know what I mean, in the hoods and whatnot, to buy back the block. I'm thinking about opening me up something soon. Me and Solomon about to, we in business now, but we're gonna take it a step further. And we thinking about investing soon, in some other different, business ventures. You know what I mean, coming up real soon. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never ever trying to go back and work for the man no more. Ever, ever, ever. You know what I mean? So I salute the people who have been off their jobs. And I salute the people that still work. You gotta do what you got to do. You got a family to feed. I'm not looking down on nobody. But all I'm saying is that we have to spread the entrepreneur spirit, not the drug dealing. People do what you got to do, black men and women, but we have to become a little bit more smarter. And this is the crazy part, though, right? Salute Tracy Brown. I saw a video. I gotta speak on this. Where I ain't got nothing but time, really. Where a brother, he wasn't trying to sell no drugs. He wasn't trying to do that. He actually put soda, water, and juice on a little. This was in Atlanta, I think. He was pulling his joint. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make some money. selling dollar. You know how niggas sell the dollar waters and all that. You know what I'm saying? The dollar sodas, and they walk down the street and all that. And you know what I mean? Trying to make a living. You know, he could be selling dope. He could be selling crack. He could be selling mollies and pills. He could be selling a whole bunch of things. So don't you know he got arrested because he didn't have a permit? Yeah, I was like, wow, like, yo, every time the black man tries to do something, man, it's not, trust me, it's not excuses. Because see, y'all think that, right? This is what y'all think. Y'all think that we sitting in the house making excuses because we bitter and we don't have nothing going on. No, we is Solomon ain't on here now because he working, putting in hours. I put in hours. You know what I mean? This is the thing. Like we putting in hours, we scratching, we clawing, we working very hard, coming up with ways to get away from this shit. That's the thing. We ain't just sitting here bitter and complaining. We working hard to try to turn this thing around and shit. But the other people got a fucking 500-year head start and shit. If you get somebody a 500-year head start, how long is it going to take you to catch up to them? Keep that in perspective. Keep that in perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, again, this is about taking our destiny into our own hand. So if y'all want to get in touch with me, man, my email is in the black radio. Real simple, in the black radio at AOL.com. You know, we get a lot of comments, so it's kind of hard to respond to a lot of them. But I do get an email directly to my phone for any reason, for interviews, whatever. I know a lot of people send me music, right? And the thing is, the reason why I don't, you have to send me a raw, you have to send me a raw MP4 file that's not already posted on YouTube for it to get posted on this particular channel. Now on the back channel, I will post it and I can link it, because what happens with people, once you could basically get a copyright, strike, for stuff like that. All it takes is somebody disgruntled and bitter for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So this is why I kind of shy. It's not because I don't fuck with you, but I kind of shy away from it. So if it's not on YouTube and it's a raw MP4 file, you know what I mean? If you're going to do a song, you want it posted, give it to me first and I'll put it up here first. Then you can put it up on your page. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main reason why. But I do have a back page and I always leave it in the description. Y'all can check that out. We're trying to get the numbers up over there because I don't mind posting it on those pages. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if we got any more questions before I leave. We'll get back to work today. All right. So I'll probably be back later with something. I'm gonna see what's going on in the news. I'm probably gonna talk about some current events. You know what I mean? See what's going on with the family. You know what I mean? Chopper crazy. See what's going on in the news. There's a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? A lot of headlines, being made. So I'm gonna be on top of it. You're gonna get it here first in the Black Hip Hop News. You're going to get it here first, if not close to first. So this is about your brother, Oh God, man. Make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe. Appreciate, Tracy Brown, Chopper, Frida Jackson, ATL Capricorn, Universal Awareness TV. You know what I mean? Tracy Brown, Brian, Edmond, and all the people that's came into the live stream and gave great words, of wisdom. You know what I mean? Pan African, let's change the vibration, bro. Salute, no doubt. You know what I mean? So, peace, family. You already know what it is. In the black for life. I'm out.